Simba's father, Mufasa, is arguably the greatest king in Disney history. He rules over the Pride Lands with wisdom, strength, and a heart full of love for his son and his kingdom. But Mufasa's tragic death makes him an even more unforgettable character. But did you know that Mufasa's death scene was actually inspired by a horrifying real-life event? Mufasa's untimely demise was a pivotal moment in the film, responsible for sending young Simba down the path of self-discovery and eventual return as the rightful heir to the throne. The sequence begins with Simba and Nala desperately fleeing from a stampede of wildebeest across the barren savanna. Cornered and with no escape in sight, Simba is forced to make a split-second decision: leap of faith into the unknown or certain death by trampling. He chooses the former, trusting in his father's guidance, only to be met by the devastating sight of Mufasa pinned beneath a fallen rock, unable to help his son in his moment of need. While this scene is undoubtedly emotionally charged, what makes it truly powerful is the fact that it was inspired by a tragic incident in the life of a real lion named Mowgli. As reported by National Geographic, Mowgli was a lion known for his intelligence and protective instincts towards his adopted daughter, a cub he took in after her mother was killed by poachers. One day, while trying to save his daughter from a charging buffalo, Mowgli found himself trapped beneath the animal's massive bulk. Unable to free himself, Mowgli's desperate attempts to escape only resulted in a dislocated shoulder and a broken leg, leaving him unable to walk and pray for food. Heartbroken by his father's plight, Mowgli's daughter could only watch helplessly as he slowly wasted away, eventually succumbing to the elements and starvation. To honor Mowgli's bravery and the profound impact he had on those who knew him, the filmmakers of The Lion King named Mufasa after him, ensuring that his legacy would live on through the iconic character. However, the tragic circumstances behind Mufasa's creation serve as a stark reminder of the harsh realities faced by lions in the wild and the lengths to which these magnificent creatures will go to protect those they love. In the shadowy underworld of The Lion King, there is a secret so chilling it has been buried under layers of catchy tunes and heartwarming family moments. It's a truth that's more disturbing than a hyena cackle in the dead of night. Are you ready to uncover it? Then listen closely, because I am about to reveal a secret that's whispered only in the darkest corners of Pride Rock. The Lion King may seem like a vibrant celebration of life on the African savanna, but there's a haunting undercurrent that runs through the film, a reflection of the harsh realities of the natural world that Disney chose to acknowledge. Now, prepare yourself, because what I am about to tell you will forever change the way you view the circle of life. The elephant graveyard in The Lion King isn't just a place where old elephants go to die. It's a chilling metaphor for the cycle of death and decay that permeates the entire film. The very soil of the Pride Lands is enriched by the bones of those who have died, creating a grim yet necessary part of the circle of life. This dark truth is symbolized by the elephant graveyard, a place where the dead are left to decompose, providing sustenance for the living. While this concept may seem unsettling, it's a crucial aspect of the circle of life in nature. Death is not merely an ending, but a beginning, a return to the earth that sustains all life. The nutrients in dead bodies become food for scavengers and decomposers, which in turn nourish the plants and soil that support the entire ecosystem. By acknowledging this cycle, The Lion King reminds us that life and death are intertwined, and that death is not something to be feared, but rather respected as a natural and necessary part of the world we inhabit. Now that you know these deepest, darkest secrets of The Lion King, you can never view the movie the same way again. When you hear the iconic opening notes of The Lion King, what do you think of? A circle of life, Hakuna Matata, or maybe some wise old baboons? But what if we told you this beloved Disney classic has some truly dark secrets hidden beneath its catchy tunes? Today, we'll uncover the disturbing truth behind the happiest place on earth and explore why The Lion King might not be for kids after all. Part 1. Blood, Death, and Royalty. You may have forgotten this since you were 4 feet tall and obsessed with Disney, but The Lion King is actually kind of violent. We're talking blood, guts, murder, and even cannibalism. Let's start with Mufasa's death. Remember, the stampede? Well, the movie implies that Scar orchestrated it to get rid of his brother, and Mufasa literally dies in front of Simba, leaving his son traumatized. Then there's the song Be Prepared, where Scar rallies the hyenas and tells them, there's nothing we can do about it. He is our king, Mufasa. In other words, it's a call to arms and a promise that things will change. What exactly does that mean? Well, you'll see. Later, Simba learns the truth about his father's death and runs away, believing he's responsible. The poor guy thinks he killed his own dad. But before he flees, there's a hint of something even more disturbing. As Simba looks back at Pride Rock, we can see a hyena with a lion cub in its mouth. That's right. The hyenas aren't messing around. They're willing to eat anything. This is no cartoon. These guys are vicious predators. And when you add a little context, the violence in The Lion King becomes much more intense. The movie is basically a Shakespearean tragedy with talking animals. And if you don't believe us, check out the ending. Simba comes back to defeat his uncle and restore order to the kingdom. But there's a cost. Just before he defeats Scar, Scar says, "Now you've killed your father. You'll kill me too." In other words, Simba's quest for revenge is also a journey to escape his destiny. And let's be real, that's messed up. Part 2. Scar's creepy backstory. Scar isn't just one of Disney's greatest villains. He is also one of the most disturbing. On the surface, Scar is selfish, jealous, and power-hungry. But when you dig deeper, you find something even darker, hiding beneath his sharp smile and sarcastic tone. First, let's talk about the name Scar. In the official Disney lore, his birth name wasn't even Scar. It was Taka. In Swahili, Taka can mean want or desire, which already hints at his obsession with wanting more power, respect, and the throne that he feels was stolen from him. But here's the creepy twist. In some fan theories, Scar wasn't always evil. Instead, he became twisted after years of rejection, neglect, and being overshadowed by Mufasa. Some fans even speculate that Mufasa and their father treated Scar as an outcast from the very beginning, causing him to embrace the darkness. And then, there's the famous scar on his eye. While Disney never officially explained how he got it, the name Scar forever brands him as broken, damaged, and defined by his pain. Imagine growing up where your literal identity is reduced to your injury. That would be enough to drive anyone mad. But Scar isn't just a character. He's a symbol. Jealousy. Scar represents the destructive power of envy. He would rather destroy the Pride Lands than let his brother rule. Corruption. His reign leads to starvation, death, and ruin, mirroring how dictatorships can collapse entire nations. Manipulation. Scar doesn't just fight with claws. He manipulates others, turning Simba against himself and using the hyenas as pawns. And if you watch his movements and expressions closely, Scar is animated to resemble a snake. Sly, slithering, and venomous. His green eyes glow like poison, and his presence feels more reptilian than feline. Even his voice, brought to life by Jeremy Irons, drips with sarcasm and venom. Unlike any other Disney villain, but here's the scariest part. Scar's entire character arc mirrors real-world dictators and warlords. He promises the hyenas equality in food if they help him. But once he gains power, he fails everyone. He uses propaganda, fear, and manipulation to maintain control. Disney may have animated him for children, but Scar's design is one of the most realistic and terrifying portrayals of evil leadership in movie history. Part 3. The Hyenas. A dark allegory of racism. When you think of the hyenas in The Lion King, you probably picture goofy, hungry sidekicks, especially Ed, the one who only laughs. But behind the slapstick humor lies one of the most controversial and darkest secrets in Disney history. The hyenas are often interpreted as a racist allegory. Here's why. In the movie, the hyenas live in the elephant graveyard, a desolate wasteland filled with bones and shadows. They're portrayed as outsiders, dirty, lazy, and untrustworthy. Their accents and mannerisms stand out against the regal lions. Shenzi, voiced by Whoopi Goldberg, brings a street-smart, urban edge. Banzai, voiced by Cheech Marin, carries a Chicano accent. Many critics argue these choices weren't random. They intentionally portrayed the hyenas as an undesirable underclass. The hyenas are shown as desperate, starving, and ready to follow anyone who offers them a better life. Enter Scar, who promises them food and power if they help him overthrow Mufasa. This creates a disturbing message. The outsiders, the poor, and the marginalized are dangerous and must be kept out. Some critics have even called the hyenas a metaphor for immigration or racial stereotypes in 1990s America. But it doesn't end there. When Scar takes over and allows the hyenas into Pride Rock, the once fertile land becomes a barren wasteland. This plays into a harmful stereotype that when outsiders take control, society collapses. It's no wonder many scholars and film critics point to The Lion King as a subtle but powerful example of racial coding in Hollywood. Of course, not everyone agrees. Some argue the hyenas were simply comic relief. But when you watch the film closely, it's hard not to notice the deeper implications. The hyenas aren't just villains. They're symbols of fear of the other. And that's one of the darkest truths about The Lion King. That behind its fun animal characters lies a coded message about power, race, and exclusion. Okay, so everyone knows the basic plot of The Lion King. Simba runs away after his father's death, comes back to take his rightful place on Pride Rock, and defeats his evil uncle, Scar. The end. But what if I told you that what we think we know about The Lion King is untrue? What if I told you that Disney lied to us all? Get ready for the truth behind the movie magic in Part 3, The Circle of Lies. Welcome to my channel. And today, we're diving deep into the hidden meanings and secrets of Disney's The Lion King. You won't believe what we discover. Part 1. A false identity. Everyone who grew up with The Lion King believes the same thing. Mufasa and Scar are brothers. That's the whole foundation of the story, right? But what if I told you that even Disney themselves have admitted this might not be true? In interviews after the original film, some Disney animators revealed that lions in the wild Dante really work the way we see in the movie. Male lions Dante stay together as a family unit. They fight to dominate and control the pride. Often only one male rules at a time. If another male challenges him, it usually ends in bloodshed. So how does this fit into the story? Well, according to the animators, Mufasa and Scar weren't technically blood brothers. Instead, they may have just been rivals living in the same pride. The brother label was more symbolic, added to give children a clearer narrative about betrayal. But this opens up a terrifying new layer of meaning. If Mufasa and Scar weren't brothers, then Scar wasn't just jealous. He was an outsider, an illegitimate lion, or even an adopted rival. That would explain his bitterness, his resentment, and why no one in the pride seems to respect him. Think about it. Scar never mates, never has cubs, and never seems truly accepted. He lurks in the shadows, plotting, waiting for a chance to overthrow Mufasa. His entire existence feels like a predator hiding just outside the circle. And if you rewatch The Lion King with this theory in mind, Mufasa and Scar's relationship feels very different. Scar isn't just a jealous little brother. He is a dangerous rival who never belonged in the first place. That makes Mufasa's death even darker. Because if they weren't truly brothers, then Scar's betrayal isn't just family drama. It's a violent coup. Disney softened the details to make it kid-friendly, but underneath, The Lion King mirrors real animal behavior. A fight for survival where only one alpha can rule, and blood ties mean nothing. Now brace yourself for Part 6, the dark truth about Simba. What if I told you that Simba, the cute little lion cub we all know, could actually be one of the most tragic characters in Disney history? Get ready to uncover the shocking truth behind his seemingly innocent story in Part 6, Simba's tragic truth. Don't miss it. The Lion King has been a cultural touchstone for decades. But have you ever noticed how dark the movie actually is? Let's discuss some of its hidden sinister secrets. Part 5. The meaning behind the roar, as any Lion King fan knows. The opening scene is iconic. As the sun rises over the Pride Lands, animals from all over the kingdom gather. They raise their voices and join together in song, celebrating the birth of a new lion cub. It's a joyous occasion. The pride is complete and the circle of life continues. But have you ever stopped to think about how Mufasa got everyone to show up? The answer is chilling. Mufasa uses his roar, the most powerful force in the Pride Lands, to announce the birth of a new cub. He literally compels every living creature to appear before him. He expects obedience and they comply. Think about that for a second. The king demands everyone assemble at a moment's notice, and they come. Some are hundreds of miles away, yet they hear his call and they come running. That's terrifying. It shows just how absolute his power is. There's no question of loyalty or love. It's primal fear that brings them all together. You can argue that this sets up the movie's central theme. Nature is inherently brutal and uncaring. The strong take what they want, and the weak have no choice but to submit. Part 6. The Circle of Life, as Dark Truth. The Circle of Life is one of the most iconic songs in Disney history. That opening chant sends chills down your spine. The lyrics are uplifting, celebrating how all creatures are connected in a grand cycle of birth, life, and death. But if you really think about it, the circle of life isn't happy at all. In fact, it's one of the darkest concepts in the movie. Why? Because it's not about equality. It's about survival. Lions eat antelope. Antelope eat grass. When lions die, their bodies return to the soil, which feeds the grass. It sounds poetic, but what it really means is, death is the foundation of life. Every animal in the Pride Lands exists not just to live, but to die and be consumed by others. This isn't just Disney philosophy. It mirrors the harsh realities of the animal kingdom. The circle isn't fair. It's brutal. Some creatures are born to be kings, while others are born to be prey. Now here's the really creepy part. The circle of life, isn't just about nature. It's also about social order. Mufasa explains it directly to Simba. Yes, we eat the antelope. But when we die, we become the grass, and the antelope eat us. It's his way of justifying why lions rule over everyone else. But think about it. He's saying, we are your kings because nature decided it so. That's not equality. That's destiny disguised as dominance. In fact, many critics see the circle of life as a metaphor for rigid class systems and monarchy. The lions will always rule, the hyenas will always be outsiders, and the antelope will always be prey. The system never changes. Even when Simba defeats Scar and restores order, the circle stays the same. No real revolution happens. The lions are still kings, the hyenas are still villains, and the cycle of power continues. It's a beautiful song with a dark message. Life is an endless loop of inequality, violence, and death. Disney turned it into something kids sing at school plays, but the truth behind it is much more unsettling. The Lion King has more secrets than meets the eye, from the scary origins of the hyenas to an iconic villain. That may have been Disney's way of tackling a taboo subject. In Part 7, we uncovered how Scar was more than just a jealous prince. He was a symbol of fascist dictators, especially Adolf Hitler. Some viewers also pointed out Scar's disturbing laughter, which some say sounds like the deranged laughter of someone with a psychotic break. But there's another aspect to Scar that might make us look at him in a different light, especially if we consider the taboo subject of necrophilia. Before we continue, please be aware that this video contains sensitive content. Viewer discretion is advised. 1. A glowing love interest. When Simba and Nala meet as cubs, their relationship is innocent. But when they meet again as adults, things change. Nala is on the prowl and spots Simba from afar. She looks at him with clear interest. Later, when Nala and Simba are reunited, she purrs and rubs against him, nuzzling her head into his mane. This is unusual lion behavior. In nature, lions don't show romantic interest through such displays. Only female lions do that with their cubs. Nala's actions could be seen as a clear indication of her sexual interest in Simba. 2. A little too close for comfort. While the movie focuses on Simba and Nala's friendship, the two are never shown sleeping separately. In the iconic sleeping scene, Nala is shown entering Simba's den and lying down right next to him. This is odd considering lions sleep apart from each other in the wild. It makes you wonder if Disney was trying to hint at a romantic relationship between the two, especially since they chose not to focus on Simba's possible romantic feelings for another lioness. 3. The uncomfortable kissing scene. In the end, Simba and Nala's relationship goes beyond friendship. After defeating Scar, Simba and Nala embrace and kiss passionately. The camera zooms in on their faces, and the music swells dramatically. This scene feels out of place, given that the movie has been more about family and responsibility than romance. The intensity of the kissing scene seems out of sync with the rest of the film. 4. A different kind of pride. Simba and Nala's relationship raises questions about the portrayal of sexual relationships within the context of the circle of life. In the opening and closing scenes, we see adult lions mating. This footage wasn't just included for the sake of realism. It's a clear connection to the beginning of the film when Simba and Nala are introduced as potential mates. Their relationship is foreshadowed throughout, making the ending a natural progression. 5. Nature's way. Ultimately, Simba and Nala's relationship serves as a reminder of the power of nature. Even in a world full of danger and deceit, life goes on. The cycle of love and family continues. So while the relationship between Simba and Nala might seem strange, it's important to remember that they are animals driven by instinct and desire. Their story is a reflection of the natural world, even if it makes us feel uncomfortable. Lions don't conform to human ideas of morality or propriety. They are wild animals, living according to the laws of nature. So while we might question Nala's actions, it's important to remember that she's simply following her instincts. So, let's get started. Part 10. Scar's brutal death. Scar's ending is one of the most shocking Disney villain deaths ever. Unlike other villains who fall off cliffs, though Scar's fate is much darker. He is eaten alive by his own army of hyenas. 1. Hyenas turn on their master. Scar manipulates, lies, and uses the hyenas as his loyal soldiers. But when his lies are exposed, they realize he never cared about them. His final words, "It's the hyenas who are to blame," seal his fate. The hyenas, hungry and betrayed, surround him. Their glowing eyes close in, and his screams are cut short as they tear him apart. This is real-world karma. Dictators who rise by manipulating the masses often fall the same way, destroyed by the very people they exploited. 2. The brutality of nature. Disney didn't sugarcoat this scene. In the wild, lions are killed by their own kind. Hyenas are ruthless scavengers. Scar's death wasn't just cinematic. It was nature's law of balance at work. The Lion King shows us that evil isn't just punished, it's devoured. 3. Symbolism of fire and cleansing. Scar's death happens in the flames of Pride Rock. Fire is symbolic of destruction, but also cleansing. The Pride lands burn so that life can be reborn. Scar's removal clears the way for Simba to restore balance. For adults watching, this scene is chilling. Not just because Scar dies violently, but because it reflects the truth. Power built on lies, greed, and manipulation never lasts. Ode through call to action. And there you have it, the darkest secrets of the Lion King Disney never told you. From Scar's Nazi-inspired imagery, to Simba's hidden battle with guilt and depression, to the brutal, symbolic death of Scar. This movie isn't just a children's story. It's a psychological masterpiece filled with warnings about dictatorship, mental health, and the cycle of life itself. If you grew up watching The Lion King, you probably never noticed how deep and haunting this story really is. But now, you'll never look at it the same way again. If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden secrets, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss more shocking Disney theories and facts. Tell me in the comments, which Lion King secret blew your mind the most? Was it Scar's Nazi march, Simba's depression, or the disturbing realism behind Scar's death? I'll be replying to as many comments as I can. And remember, this is just the beginning. We've got more dark Disney theories coming your way that will completely change how you see your childhood movies. Stay tuned.